Ripple built its own dollar and Ethereum could not hold on to it. Most of RLUSD now lives on the XRP Ledger right beside your 1000 XRP. $853 million of the 1.58 billion supply settles where your bag settles. No press release marked the switch. A public page quietly changed sides. The Scoreboard is DeFi Llama, an independent registry that counts every stablecoin on every chain in public. This is your XRP news desk. I'll show you what 853 million settled dollars do for a 1000 XRP bag, and the number on Ripple's own reserve page that is bigger than every RLUSD in existence. Start with the two rows at the bottom of the table. The XRP Ledger carries just under 54 cents of every RLUSD dollar, a $123 million lead over the chain that owned this market for a decade. I checked the history myself because the date matters. The crossing happened on June 26th. Ethereum snatched the lead back for exactly 1 day, July 1. Since July 2nd, the XRP Ledger has held it for 37 straight days. Now the part I won't dress up. The whole pie still sits below its $1.81 billion peak from the start of June. But inside of that cooling, the XRP Ledger side went from minority to majority. Money that leaves a fad leaves everything at once. Money that changes addresses is choosing. If pages like this beat press releases, tap the like, drop a comment, and subscribe for more. This page is the vault door. Ripple's issuer for RLUSD is a firm called Standard Custody, chartered and supervised by NYDFS, New York's financial watchdog. Every month, an independent accountant counts the cash and signs it. I'm not asking you to trust Ripple's math. New York makes Ripple approver, and here is the pair you just saw, translated. On the date printed on that page, the reserve held 113 million more than every RLUSD in circulation. A stablecoin, in plain words, is a dollar that lives on a blockchain address. Which blockchain is the whole game, because the chain that hosts the dollar collects the traffic. And on the XRP Ledger, the traffic gets paid for in XRP. Hold on to that thought because Ripple wrote the next part down itself. It's right here in Ripple's own words. The XRP Ledger and Ethereum named it in one sentence in no particular order. The page even leaves the door open for more chains later. If you read it the way a lawyer would, the issuer promises every holder the same thing everywhere. Fully backed, redeemable, one-to-one. What Ripple never promises is where its dollar should live. The users decide that, and with every mint, every transfer, you have already watched the deciding. The majority of Ripple's dollar sleeps on the XRP Ledger. So tell me in the comments, dollars or coins, which one drags the banks onto the XRP Ledger first? Tap the like, subscribe, and notification bell while you're down there. And there sits the side that lost the majority on its own home turf. Etherscan is Ethereum's book of record, and DeFi Llama's own link points straight to this page. The balance on your screen is smaller than half of Ripple's dollar. Now run one piece of simple math with me. Divide that balance by the wallet count, and the average RLUSD holder on Ethereum carries roughly $58,000. Desks, funds, market makers, treasury money, and treasury money moves for reasons, which is why this beat any price candle. A price move can reverse by lunch. A supply migration is settled behavior. Dollars only switch chains when somebody redeems on one side, remints on the other, and settles there. One counterweight, so you hold the whole board. Over the past month, Ethereum's pile grew almost 3%, while the XRP Ledger stood flat. The lead narrowed, and Ethereum is still swinging, but a majority that absorbs a counterpunch for 5 straight weeks is not a fluke. It's a habit, and before you ever see that in the headline, it prints in these columns. And here is the winning side's own book. It's fully alive. This is the XRP's Ledger's Public Explorer, and RLUSD's page never sits still. Fresh offers land every few seconds. Plenty of them trading RLUSD straight against XRP. The hold account up top runs almost 4 times the hold account on Ethereum. If you read the two books together, fewer, larger wallets on a losing chain, more wallets plus working liquidity on the winning chain. Adoption looks exactly like that. Institutions park, people use, and every bit of that activity feeds your coin. Every account holding RLUSD on the XRP ledger sets aside a sliver of XRP just to hold it. Every trade ticking up that feed burned a droplet of XRP on the way through. Ripple's dollar does not merely sit beside your bag, it works for your bag. Every hour the XRP ledger is open, which is every hour since 2012. One door is still shut, the biggest one. Ripple built it and I'm watching it. Meet Ripple Mint, a unified platform for institutions to access, mint, redeem, and manage RLUSD. Built for scale for both UI and API accesses, Ripple Mint gives institutions the flexibility to automate stablecoin automations, integrate RLUSD into existing systems, and manage digital dollar liquidity across chain, available to existing RLUSD users right now. And Ripple posted this 2 weeks ago, and the closing line is the tell. One front door, every chain is welcome. An institution mints through one screen and picks the chain its dollars land on. The scoreboard rows measure the picking, and I just showed you which way it runs. So let me land this where it pays, your bag. Your 1000 XRP lives on an address on the XRP ledger. As of the page you just watched, 853 million of attested New York supervised dollars actually live there with it. So most of Ripple's entire dollar supply choose your address book over Wall Street's favorite chain. So how does it compound from here? There's 3 steps and in order, and you'll know each one the day that it lands. First, the pie grows back. DeFi Llama's total has to reclaim that early June peak, minted by standard custody against fresh cash. Second, and only after that, the share has to hold. 853 over 1,584 is just under 54 cents of every dollar. If new money keeps that split, the majority was never a fluke of a cooling market. Third, the step that moves an XRP bag, institutions keep walking through Ripple Mint and parking settlement dollars on the XRP ledger at size. Every single one of those touches XRP on the way in. No dates, no promises, a sequence on public pages in the order you can check. So say the quiet part out loud with me. Ripple's own dollar picked its home, and the home is the XRP ledger, the same chain your 1000 XRP never left. The dollar moved in with you, not the other way around. Subscribe, because tomorrow I'm putting 5000 XRP under the microscope. Every page on screen, Wall Street can argue with a forecast. Nobody argues with an address. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, stack facts, not fear, and I'll see you in the next video.